House Democrats firing back at the Trump administration over its attempts to block witnesses from testifying in the impeachment inquiry. Committee chairmen saying they will view any such efforts as obstruction. The ranking Republican on the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins, on Sunday Morning Futures this morning, voicing concerns about a lack of transparency on the Democrats' part.
The Democrats realized that in the light of day, they couldn't find anything to impeach President Trump on. So now they're going behind closed doors, and they're just believing that the American public is not smart enough to realize what they're doing, that they can just leak out what they want to and influence this next election cycle.
Let's bring in now former U.S. Attorney Guy Lewis. He served with William Barr at the Justice Department during the President George H.W. Bush's administration. We'll get back to those comments later, but I want to start here and move this story forward for the week. You've got Gordon Sondland. He's the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, who, just to set this up for everyone who may not remember, he, in a September 9th text message to U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Bill Taylor, said that, "I think it's crazy that to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign." Now, this is after speaking with President Trump, because they were going back and forth on the text messages, but then some hours passed by, and after speaking with President Trump, Sondland responded that there were no, quote, no quid pro quos of any kind. So, Ambassador Sondland, again, set to testify this week, according to reports breaking last night, that he is going to say that he, quote, relied on the president's assurances in good faith and passed these along, talking about that text message. So I ask you, Mr. Lewis, what is the impact of this testimony this week? What will the impact be?
Well, it's interesting because, look, you've got the president who's giving major pushback to this entire effort. And really, when you take a step or two back, Arthel, you know, I think his position is legitimate to give pushback because, look, who in their right mind would participate in a process where, look, the other side's lawyer can be present, but yours can't? Okay,
we're getting off subject already, so please let's stick to the point. And I asked you, what do you think will be the impact of Ambassador Sondland's deposition this week? If we can start there.
I think he's going to give firsthand account of what exactly happened, which is contained in the emails and the text that occurred at the time. So there's your best evidence. Okay. There's your best evidence. So, but still, the process matters. Look, you can spin this any way you want.
I'm not spinning, sir. I'm asking questions. And the next question I have for you is, can the State Department once again ban or prevent Ambassador Sondland from testifying?
Well, they can insist on process being followed. Again, process matters.
Right,
procedure matters.
So he's being subpoenaed by the committee that has the power to subpoena him and compel him to testify. That's what's happening. That's the process.
But there's a process for this. Look, my point is there's a process for this. You can't issue a subpoena on Friday, which has happened before in this committee.
Well, they issued a subpoena because he was barred from appearing. So that's what's happening. I mean, it's kind of a game here.
No, well, look, both sides are trying to get an advantage during the testimony. My point is, issue the subpoena, conduct the interview, and yes, I agree with the prior representative, let the American people decide. Process matters, procedure matters, be fair. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. That is, I agree with you on that.
We're on the same page on that.
We're on the same page. It's really, you know, listen, this is really a sobering time. Nobody wants to see any of our presidents going through an impeachment process. So this is certainly nothing to be. My concern is about patriotism. It's not about politics. But let me read part of a statement by the Democratic chairman of the three House committees conducting the impeachment inquiry. They released this statement Friday, and in part it says, any efforts by the Trump administration officials to prevent witness cooperation with the committees will be deemed obstruction of a co-equal branch of government, and an adverse inference may be drawn against the president on the underlying allegations of corruption and cover-up. So the question to you, Mr. Lewis, is it in his rights as president to determine who testifies before Congress, or is it obstruction of justice?
Well, I don't think it is obstruction of justice, and I do think the executive branch, when the legislative branch is issuing subpoenas to members of the executive branch, again, they are entitled to participate in the process, whether it's through their lawyers, whether it's through asking questions, whether it's through issuing subpoenas. Again, that's the kind of fairness that I'm talking about in transparency.
So how are they being banned or barred from participating?
Well, their lawyers are not allowed to ask questions. They're not allowed to issue subpoenas. They've not even voted. And that's why the Republicans are up in arms on this. They've not even voted. They've not even voted. They've not even voted on the process. Follow the same procedure that they used in Clinton. Is that too much to ask?
I want to ask you before I just was told I have a minute, and I know that you served with William Barr at the Department of Justice under President Bush 41. And strictly from a legal and constitutional perspective, what is your assessment of Attorney General William Barr's actions throughout this process?
I think he's followed the book. I think he's crossed T's, he's dotted I's. I think his only fidelity is to the Constitution. It's interesting because, look, Barr is not a Trumper. Barr's initial interactions was with H.W. Bush and then George W. Bush, the son. That's where his service has been. So his loyalty is to the Constitution and to the rule of law.
All right. We leave it there. Mr. Lewis, thank you very much for joining us.